Welcome to Priviso Live, your trusted source for ICT legislation, risk, information security, and AI news from the heart of South Africa. I'm Lynn, and with me are our regulars, Stephen and John. We're coming to you from Johannesburg on Women's Day 9th August, and we wish all of the women out there a wonderful day.
Especially to you, Lynn. Perhaps I take you for coffee after this session to celebrate?
That's enough from you, John, but thank you for the wishes. And how are you today, Stephen?
Well, you know, I started the day buying chocolates, so I'm safe for now.
I'm glad to hear it. Regular listeners may have noticed we have added AI to our focus from here on in, simply because we cannot avoid it. Lots to talk about again today?
There is. So let's get straight into the news section.
BUI has just rolled out South Africa's very first cybersecurity warranty, a pioneering move in the world of cyber protection. Guys, what are your first thoughts?
This is huge. BUI is offering up to 1 million Rand in cash or remediation services for verified network breaches or cyber extortion incidents as part of its Cyber MXDR service. That's more than just monitoring. It's tangible financial assurance, not something you see every day in this space.
Exactly. And it's not just about the money. Customers also get access to specialist help. Think forensic investigators, data recovery experts, legal advisors, even PR support. That's an all-in package, blending proactive and reactive measures.
And there's a crucial caveat. Eligibility hinges on basic security hygiene. Customers must maintain patching, secure backups, password policies, monitored firewalls, and alerting to qualify. It's like an incentive to do cyber right.
BUI's CEO, Ryan Roseveare, hit the nail on the head. Security isn't just technical anymore. It's financial and reputational too. This warranty reframes cyber defense as a holistic service.
And being a first in South Africa gives BUI a real edge. They're layering assurance on top of their cybersecurity services, something to watch as this standard becomes the norm across industries.
Then let's dive straight into a critical cybersecurity warning. Hackers are now using a sneaky browser-in-the-browser overlay to mimic the Facebook login screen. This all starts with a fake CAPTCHA, "Are you human?" and slides you into a flawless-looking Facebook login window. It's that slick. The overlay even includes SSL icons and a real-looking address bar, complete with CSS-captured visuals to build trust. Once you enter your credentials, the form silently sends your info to the attackers, then refreshes the real Facebook page, leaving you none the wiser.
The scale is massive, with over 500,000 exposure attempts logged so far across North America and Southeast Asia. And the criminals aren't staying in place. They rotate cloud-hosted domains hourly, making it super hard for block lists and security tools to keep up.
Bottom line, stay alert. Realize that CAPTCHA could be the trap.
In the next item, we've got a real-world case that should set alarm bells ringing for artists and rights holders. The musician, the Kiffness, shared that someone altered his bandmate's banking details in the South African Music Performance Rights Association database, linking them to an unknown Mr. Matue.
Without his follow-up, those royalties would have been paid straight into this stranger's account. It's essentially a case of internal database tampering. Someone with access changed a record, and that change nearly resulted in financial theft.
This highlights two key risks. First, insider threats, whether malicious or negligent. Second, weak change controls in financial systems. SAMPRA should have multi-factor verification before altering payout accounts, and artists should regularly verify their registered details.
So, a new Microsoft research study has given us one of the clearest pictures yet of how generative AI is being used in the real world, and which jobs could be feeling the effects first. They analysed 200,000 anonymised Bing Copilot conversations over 9 months, looking at what people were asking AI to help with and what the AI was actually doing. And here's the kicker, those two things weren't always the same.
Right. They split it into user goals and AI actions. For example, if you ask the AI for help troubleshooting your printer, your goal is to operate office equipment, but the AI's action is teaching someone to use the equipment. That difference is crucial because it shows when AI is directly performing a work activity versus when it's just supporting you.
The most common user goals were gathering information, writing, and communicating. No surprise there, that's knowledge work territory. On the AI side, the top actions were providing information, teaching, advising, and coaching. 40% of the time, the AI was doing something entirely different from the user's stated goal.
They crunched all of that into an AI applicability score for different jobs. Top of the list, interpreters and translators, historians, sales reps, customer service agents, and even CNC tool programmers. Basically, roles that are heavy on communication, information flow, or structured content creation.
On the flip side, the jobs least affected, at least for now, are those with a big physical component. Think nursing assistants, roofers, truck operators, dishwashers, and even dredge operators. Not because AI can't touch those jobs eventually, but because large language models like Copilot just aren't doing those tasks today.
High applicability doesn't mean wholesale automation. In most occupations, AI overlaps with some activities, but completion rates aren't 100%, and the scope is usually moderate, so it's more about augmentation at this stage than full replacement.
The study also found a weak link between wages and AI impact. Some high-skill, low-pay jobs are just as exposed as better-paid roles. Education plays a bigger role. Occupations needing a bachelor's degree show more AI overlap than those without, but there's still plenty of variation.
I think the really interesting takeaway is that people are using AI most for the things it can have the broadest impact on, such as answering questions or drafting content, even if those aren't always the tasks it does best. That's a sign of how quickly workplace habits are evolving.
And let's not forget the business angle. A lot depends on how organizations respond. Just like ATMs didn't kill bank tellers but changed what they do, AI could reshape jobs in ways we can't fully predict yet. We could see some roles shrink, others expand, and brand new ones emerge.
Exactly. It's less about AI taking jobs and more about AI changing jobs. And if you're in sales, admin, teaching, customer service, or content creation, it's worth thinking now about how you integrate these tools, because your work is already in the AI zone.
AI is everywhere now, from chatbots to fraud detection, but with great power comes great responsibility. SANS have released their critical AI security guidelines paper, a comprehensive look at how to secure AI systems in practice.
And let's be honest, folks, AI is a double-edged sword. It can make us more efficient, but if we don't secure it, we're just opening the door to new risks.
I have to be honest here. I really like the SANS paper. It's easy to read, gets to the point, and provides valuable insights.
Let's start with the basics. Stephen, why is AI governance and security suddenly such a hot topic?
Well, Lynn, as organizations adopt AI, the attack surface expands. We're not just talking about data breaches anymore. We're talking about adversarial attacks, model tampering, and even prompt injection, where attackers manipulate the way AI responds.
And it's not just about the models. It's about the data, the infrastructure, and the people who interact with these systems. If someone can swap out your AI model or poison your training data, you're in trouble.
So, John, what's the first line of defense?
Access controls. You need strong authentication and authorization for your AI models, your vector databases, and your inference processors. Think least privilege. Only give people and systems the access they absolutely need.
And don't forget about protecting the model parameters themselves. Encryption at rest, trusted execution environments, and runtime obfuscation are all recommended. If someone tampers with your model, they can subvert the entire system.
That sounds like a lot of layers.
It is, but you need them. And don't just rely on hard-coded privileges, move towards zero trust, especially as your AI interacts with more devices and APIs.
Stephen, what about the data that feeds these models?
Great question. Data is the lifeblood of AI, but it's also a huge risk. You need to protect your training data from manipulation, sanitize sensitive information, and avoid commingling data that shouldn't be mixed. In retrieval augmented generation systems, the vector databases themselves need to be treated as sensitive assets.
And don't forget about prompts. Attackers can infer sensitive information from prompts, so keep confidential data out of them whenever possible.
Let's talk deployment. Should organizations host models locally or in the cloud?
It depends. Local hosting gives you more control, especially over sensitive data, but it requires more resources. Cloud hosting can be seamless if your data is already there, but you need to be sure your provider isn't using your data for their own training. Always check the contract and ask tough questions about data retention and access.
And if you're using AI in your development environments, like VS Code or Cursor, be careful. Those integrations can leak proprietary code or API keys if not properly secured.
What about when the AI is actually running, making decisions, answering questions?
That's where inference security comes in. You need guardrails, rules that tell the model what it can and can't do. But don't rely on them completely. Attackers are creative, and they'll find ways around them. The best approach is to limit what the model can access in the first place.
And always sanitize and validate both inputs and outputs. Prompt injection is a real threat, and you need multiple layers of defense. Also, monitor who's interacting with your models and how, especially if you're exposing APIs.
How do you keep track of all this?
Continuous monitoring. Log everything: prompts, outputs, refusals. Watch for anomalies like spikes in API usage, and protect your audit logs because they can contain sensitive data too.
And don't forget governance. Set up an AI GRC board, maintain an AI bill of materials, and use model registries to track versions and dependencies. The regulatory landscape is evolving fast, so stay on top of new laws and frameworks.
Final thoughts. What's the biggest risk with AI?
San says the biggest AI risk right now is the risk of not using it. If you try to ban AI, you'll just fall behind your competition. The key is to manage it safely with proper controls and oversight.
Agreed. Security teams should enable safe AI adoption, not block it. The organizations that get this right will be the ones that thrive.
That's it for this episode. If you want to hear more of the same, subscribe to Priviso live on Apple, Samsung, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or YouTube.
And if you need security, risk, AI, or ICT legislation advice, contact Priviso Consulting directly at admin@priviso.co.za. Stay safe, everyone.